Good morning, everyone. Today, I am going to discuss the scheme of valuation and answers of physical chemistry April-May 2019 question paper. In this discussion, I am going to tell you very clearly how to answer the questions and how the valuation will be in the university. That I want to clear to you. Okay. Now, in this question paper code, while receiving the question paper, you verify the question paper code. This question paper code is 20731. This question, so many repeat question papers are there for repeaters. You have to take, as a fresher, you have to take a suitable question paper code. Okay. And then you, in your physical chemistry syllabus, 28 hours of syllabus is there. So the paper setters, they select questions from all the units of the physical chemistry from all the 28 hours of syllabus. Question paper, including the choice, question paper is there having questions for 74 marks. For 74 marks, question will be there. So 28 hours syllabus, 74 marks, including choices. Therefore, if you divide 74 by 28, for each hour of syllabus, 2.64 marks question will be given, approximately. On the basis of that, question paper has been set. Therefore, questions will be there from all the parts equally. It has been distributed, and questions will be there. So, therefore, you have to study all the units in the physical chemistry syllabus. In this question paper, there are three parts. Part A, compulsory questions, 10 questions, short answer type questions, 10 questions will be there for 10 marks. Part B, 6 mark questions. Part B, you have to answer 3 questions. 4 questions will be there. Out of that, you have to answer 3 questions. Each question carries 6 marks. Part C, 8 mark question. There you have to answer 4 questions. 5 questions will be there, 1 choice. Therefore, you have to answer 4 questions. Now, let us discuss each part one by one and their answers. Okay. In the part A section, there the first question is, what is ionic mobility? Question is very clear. What is ionic mobility? Ionic mobility is nothing but the velocity of the ion in a solution. When potential is applied, the ion starts moving. Therefore, the speed of the ion, how many meters it has traveled per second under the potential gradient of 1 volt, that is called ionic mobility. Ionic mobility is nothing but the velocity of the ion measured in meter per second under the potential gradient of 1 volt per meter. So you have to specify for this ionic mobility the velocity measured in meter per second under the potential gradient of 1 volt per meter. So this point should be there. If it is there, you will get 1 mark. Similarly, second question, what is electrochemical series? What is electrochemical series? Electrochemical series, when a metal is in contact with its solution, a potential will be developed due to solution pressure. That potential is called electrode potential. Some electrodes, they undergo oxidation, some undergo reduction. Therefore, positive electrode potential is there, that is oxidation potential is there, and also reduction potential is there. So you have to convert oxidation potential into reduction potential by changing the sign. You arrange all the reduction potential at standard conditions, 25 degrees centigrade and 1 molar solution and 1 atmosphere pressure, like the standard conditions. So this standard reduction potential of all the electrodes, it will be arranged in the decreasing order. So that arrangement of standard reduction potential of all possible electrodes in the decreasing order of the standard reduction potential is called electrochemical series. So you have to specify there arrangement of. Okay, we shall start answering part B. In part B, there are 4 questions. 6 marks is, you have to answer 3 questions. from part B. Each question carries 6 marks and there are sub questions A and B. So come to the second question A. Second question A. Explain the determination of equivalent conductance of weak electrolyte at infinite dilution. Explain the determination of equivalent conductance of a weak electrolyte at infinite dilution. So infinite dilution means further dilution will not bring about further ionization. That is infinite dilution. Infinite dilution for strong electrolyte will be reached quickly because ionization is more in case of a strong electrolyte. In case of a weak electrolyte, it is difficult to reach the dilution, infinite dilution. Very difficult to reach infinite dilution in case of a weak electrolyte. Therefore, how to determine the conductivity at infinite dilution for a weak electrolyte? For that, here you see in this graph, one is a strong electrolyte, for example, potassium chloride is taken. Another one is acetic acid is taken here. For strong electrolyte, it is easy to determine equivalent conductivity at infinite dilution for strong electrolytes. What to do? You determine the conductivity at different concentrations, and plot the graph. If you extrapolate this graph, you can find out lambda infinity for a strong electrolyte. But for a weak electrolyte, what happens? Conductivity goes on increasing on dilution. When you increase the dilution, ionization goes on ionizing because it is a weak electrolyte, and the conductivity increases and it is parallel to the y-axis. It will not meet the y-axis. Therefore, you cannot find lambda infinity for a weak electrolyte. In such cases, what to do? In such a case, what you have to do is you apply Kohlrausch law. Kohlrausch law states that the sum of the conductivity of an electrolyte the conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is the sum of the ionic conductivity. Lambda infinity is equal to lambda plus lambda minus. Conductivity at infinite dilution of an electrolyte is the sum of the ionic conductivities. So you apply Kohlrausch law. So if you apply Kohlrausch law, you can take the conductivities of anion and cation for any weak electrolyte, and if you add, you'll get conductivity at infinite dilution. So that is the answer. Therefore, if you draw the graph, 1 mark, and explanation 2 marks. 3 marks for this question 2A. Now come to question 3B. Question 3B. Derive an expression for rate constant of a second order reaction when A is equal to B. 3 marks. Both the reactants are the same. It is a bimolecular reaction. So you have to write the expression for second order reaction. 2A gives rise to products. It's a second order reaction. Therefore, concentration term 2 is the power of the concentration term. So it's a second order reaction. This is the rate expression. dx by dt is proportional to a to the power 2. So you remove this proportionality by a constant k. Dx by dt is equal to k into a minus x whole square. You rearrange this, you will get dx by a minus x squared is equal to k dt. To get the total rate, you integrate that. Integral of dx by a minus x squared is equal to integral of k dt. So integral of d by a minus x squared is equal to 1 by a minus x. Integral of k dt, k is the constant taken outside. So k 1 dt is t plus integral constant c. To find out the value of this integral constant c, when t is equal to 0, x is equal to 0, c is equal to this constant c is equal to 1 by a. You substitute that here, you will get the expression k is equal to 1 by t into x by a into a minus x. This is the expression for the rate constant of a second order reaction. K is equal to 1 by t into x by a into a minus x. Therefore, how marks will be allotted for this? If you write the rate expression, you will get 1 mark. And if you write the final answer correctly, k is equal to 1 by t into x by a into a minus 1 mark. And the explanation for the remaining part, 1 mark, totally 3 marks. So this is the scheme of valuation of any question. Now come to the next question, 3A. Good morning, everyone. I am going to discuss the answers and scheme of evaluation of physical chemistry question paper, April-May 2019. Here, every question paper has got question paper code. While you are taking the question paper in the examination hall, you verify the question paper code. This question paper code is 20731 because there are other question papers for repeaters. So you verify that question paper code and you select the question paper. In this question paper, there are three parts. Part A, compulsory question for 10 marks. Part B, and Part C. All these questions are from the physical chemistry portion. The allotment of hours for physical chemistry teaching is 28 hours. For 28 hours, they have set the question paper. Total marks of this question paper, including the choice, is for 74 marks. Therefore, if you divide 74 by 28, so each hour of the syllabus will have 2.64 marks approximately questions. Therefore, you have to study all the chapters, from all the units, questions will be there. So, in this question paper, this part A is a compulsory part. There are 10 questions. We shall discuss one by one. First question is, in this part A, answer all the questions. And part A, first question, what is ionic mobility? Ionic mobility is nothing but the speed of the ion. Where in an applied electric potential, the ion migrates. You have to measure the speed of the ion in meter per second under the potential gradient of 1 volt. That is ionic mobility. Ionic mobility is nothing but the velocity measured in meters per second under the potential gradient of 1 volt per meter. So this term should be there, meter per second and 1 volt per meter. So it is the speed of the ion expressed in meters per second under the potential gradient 1 volt per meter. This term should be there. If you write this, you will get 1 mark. Let us pass on to the second question. And for all these questions, answers have already been sent to you. Through WhatsApp, we have sent the detailed answers. Here only we discuss scheme of evaluation, marks allotment for answers only, that much we discuss. Full detailed answers have already been sent to you. You keep that here for reference. So you go through those answers and you listen to this scheme simultaneously. Now come to the second question. What is electrochemical series? Electrochemical series is nothing but the arrangement of reduction potential. Actually, some electrodes undergo oxidation, some electrodes undergo reduction. Even though if there is oxidation, it will be converted into reduction potential by changing the sign. So you arrange the reduction potential, standard reduction potential measured in standard conditions. You arrange the standard reduction potential in the decreasing order, and that arrangement is called electrochemical series. So what you have to write? Electrochemical series is a arrangement of standard reduction potential in the decreasing order. If you write that much, you will get 1 mark. And so question C. Question C is, give the electrode representation of She. She is nothing but standard hydrogen electrode. You have to give the representation. This is an electrode. It consists of hydrogen gas in connection with the HCl 1 molar. So therefore, how to represent the standard hydrogen electrode? So 1 atmosphere pressure and 1 molar, that is very, very important. Therefore, this platinum is a conductor there. So platinum slash hydrogen 1 atmosphere slash HCl 1. If you write this much, you get 1 mark. This is a standard hydrogen electrode representation. Next question. D is, what is abnormal transport number? Transport number means in a solution of electrolyte, when potential is applied, ions start migrating from one side to another side. Okay, next. Question 7b. Question is, explain the determination of pH of a solution using quinhydrone electrode. So quinhydrone actually is an equimolar mixture of quinone and hydroquinone. Quinone and hydroquinone, equimolar mixture of quinhydrone. Using this quinhydrone, we can determine the pH of a solution, of any given solution. So a solution is taken in a beaker, a pinch of quinhydrone is added, and it is connected with another reference electrode, and the potential of that electrode is measured, and using this Nernst equation, EQ is equal to E naught Q minus RT by 2F log Q2 plus by Q into H plus concentration. Actually, quinhydrone, the quinone undergoes reduction, taking the electrons, and it combines with H plus. So this is responsible to determine the pH of the solution. H plus is consumed by quinone to form hydroquinone. So by applying this Nernst equation, in the denominator you will see the concentration of a H plus term here. So because of this, we can determine the pH of the solution. EQ is equal to E naught Q minus, if you simplify this, R is the gas constant, 8.314, temperature. So given temperature at the lab temperature, F is 96,500. If you substitute this and if you convert natural log into log to the base 10, multiply that by 2.303, the whole multiplication, here 2 electrons are required, that's why 2 is mentioned here. If you simplify that, you will end up with 0.0591 log 1 over H plus whole squared. So you know that minus logarithm of H plus is the pH. So if you simplify this, the equation will come to the form EQ is equal to 0.6996 minus 0.0591 pH. Thus, pH of the solution can be determined using quinhydrone electrode. So this is how the marks will be allotted for this. So if you write the equation of quinone and hydroquinone consuming the electrons, you will get 1 mark for this equation. Similarly, if you write the Nernst equation for this reaction, you will get another mark. And for this explanation, general explanation 1 mark, and final answer 1 mark. Thus 4 marks has been divided. So this is the scheme of valuation of this question 7b. Now let us pass on to the question 8a. Here question 8a is how do you determine the order of a reaction by half-life method and isolation method? So 2 marks for each, half-life method 2 marks and isolation method 2 marks. How to determine the order of a reaction? So the order of a reaction can be determined by various methods. One is half-life method, here we are going to discuss. Another one is isolation method. In the half-life method, actually we know that reaction A gives rise to product. Half-life period rate expression is T half is proportional to 1 over A to the power n minus 7, n is the order. We know this expression. Therefore, for two different initial concentrations, we have two half-lives. T half 1 is equal to 1 over A to the power n minus 1. For another concentration, T half 2, second concentration, is proportional to 1 over A to the power n minus 1. By dividing these two, by dividing one another, what you will get? You will get dividing one by taking the log on both sides. Log A by B type. So therefore, log T half 1 minus log T2 is equal to n minus 1 power numerator, power n minus 1 log A2 minus A1. Taking log on both sides, we will end up with this expression. So by simplifying this, you can find out the value of n, wherein is the order. N is equal to 1 plus log T half 1 first concentration minus log T2 of second concentration divided by log A2 minus A1. So by substituting these concentration terms and half-life periods, you will get the value of n. Thus, n can be determined. This is half-life method of determining the order of a reaction. Half-life period when the concentration is